I'm Corbett Wall with USDA Livestock and Grain Market News, here with your feeder and stocker cattle market summary for the year ending 2011 for the last 2 weeks, the week of Christmas and the week of the New Year holiday there. And we combined the 2 weeks in this summary. However, no price trends to speak of. Hardly any markets at all had sales both of the 2 weeks. Did have several sales that had a sale either 1 week or the other, but light receipts. Many areas completely shut down. Southeast completely shut down on the outside of just a few small sales there. Most all of your major shippers that buy cattle on order mostly go to the west. In the southern plains there, they were completely shut down. Their pens were empty. They'd kind of cleaned house before Christmas and won't get going again until next week when they'll hit it hard once again. The southern plains, you know, they had that big snowstorm that come through right before the first holiday week, and they were on reduced receipts there going into that Monday there before Christmas, and didn't have a whole lot of cattle then, and really no need to push it to try to get anything going until we start again next week. But for the most part, what few sales there were, it looks like the demand for feeder cattle and calves made it right through the holidays unscathed. In spots it looks like it could have improved a little bit, especially in the Midwest and northern plains where the weather has been outstanding. Sunshine and warm temperatures, unseasonably warm, and just hardly any weather concerns at all. Guys want to get cattle put together and maybe hold them a week or two before we have another storm or cold snap come through. But that is one place where we did have some activity taking place in the Midwest and the northern plains, where a lot of them did have sales going through, and some auction markets had special sales, and especially on replacement cattle, to try to take advantage of some guys wanting to spend some money before the end of the year. And typically in the Midwest you do see a lot of sales of spring calving bred heifers and cows right at the end of the year. So if guys do want to spend some of that crop money before the end of the tax year, they can. In Valentine, Nebraska, there just a few days before Christmas, they had a nice feeder cattle auction there during that Christmas week, including several high cattle, but one outstanding load, fancy 533 pound steers at $190. And everybody keeps waiting to sell a significant number of 500 pound steers at $2 a pound, and we're getting right there. $190 on 533 pounders and a whole pot load of them. At Erickson Spalding, Nebraska, they had a nice replacement female sale there with a lot of bred heifers, spring calving bred heifers, and they kind of needed to weigh over 1,000 pounds to bring it, but had several reported bred heifer sales up to $2,150 per head. So we're getting those up there. You know, a lot of people, and I'm one of them, think that these replacement cows, bred heifers, young to middle-aged bred cows and stuff are still kind of a buy compared to what these feeder cattle and calves are bringing. That looks like the steal, but once we get through the winter or get closer to the end of the winter where guys know whether or not they've got enough hay or not, then we'll see those prices undoubtedly increase, as guys definitely want to take advantage of these tight supplies of cattle of all levels, and want to increase their herds if they have the ability. And you know, already we've had some moisture down in the drought-stricken areas of Texas and Oklahoma. You know, Amarillo got 4 or 5 inches of snow right there on Christmas Day, and it's not going to take a whole lot of moisture for these guys to want to get back in. And once they do, and there's been some rains down in the central parts of Texas, you know, once spring does get here, if things look like they're going to return kind of to normal, there'll be a big demand for these replacement females, and guys want to get their hands on them if they can. But we have the Fed market's been kind of crazy here right during the holiday week. They're going into the holidays, we're selling cattle in the Southern Plains for like $1.19, And then Christmas week, they did have a market of $123 in the Southern Plains, and Nebraska and Iowa had $125 up to $126.50, which is just right up there with the all-time record high, which got up to $127 in spots, but had a weighted average in the middle 125s there. But and dress sales at $202. And this week, we're recording here on Friday the 30th. These feedlots are just fighting and scrapping tooth and nail, trying to hang on to that near record fat cattle trade. It doesn't look like there's going to be a large trade, but they really haven't established a market. Selling a few cattle to the regional packers there in Nebraska at steady money, which is kind of gives you a weaker undertone on that. But be interesting to see what they do, but probably not going to be a whole lot of cattle move at any price. We're going right in here to the end of the new year. All of us at Market News, federal, state market reporters all over the country, we sure wish all of you guys a happy and profitable new year. It looks like we're going to run into some awful high prices here, and it's going to be exciting to watch this cattle market going into 2012, where we know that our numbers are especially light. We know that eventually the data is going to start having to show that, especially on cattle on feed reports and things like that, because we're just going to run out of them. And when we start getting into green grass or the smell of green grass, it's going to have to become evident. A lot of backgrounders and grass grazers have been acquiring their stocker cattle late in 2011 to turn out in the spring, just holding them on whatever they can hold them. But there's a lot of people that are going to wait and buy those cattle like they do every year at the same time, and they will buy them, and they assume if they've got grass to turn them on and got a way to put cheap gain on them that they'll be all right. So it'll be interesting to see how high they do get. There's basically no fundamental hurdles in the way of the fat cattle market or the feeder or calf markets. So everybody just in the industry is on the watch for any food safety concerns that have to do with beef and any consumer perception problems. And so we all need to do our part in protecting those things. Regional weighted averages for the last 2 weeks of the year in the north central states, 700 to 800 pound steer cost you $146.44, for the week prior $145.27, and last year $124.54. In the south central states there, a 600 to 700 pound steer cost you $146.11, where the week prior was $146.05, and last year $123.46. And down in the southeast, a 500 to 600 pound steer cost you $140.18 compared to $141.41, and a year ago $119.66. Again, Happy New Year. If you want more market information on grain or livestock, check out our website, marketnews.usda.gov. From the Regional Market News Office in St. Joe, Missouri, we'll talk to you next year.